Hey everyone, BassMan Strikes here. So this is just a quick little video on how not to lose your rudder. So what happened to me, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I lost my rudder on the highway. And I always check before I leave. Make sure that bolt is tight, it's not going to fall out. But what happened was I did something different. I towed somebody with their kayak next to me, and that put a lot of stress on the rudder, and it worked the bolt loose, and it was dark. You know, I didn't check it before I left the launch, and the next day I noticed the sucker was gone. What are you gonna do? And it was like a 40-mile drive to where I went fishing, so there was no way I was ever gonna find that thing. I did check, you know, close by to see if it had fallen off, you know, right at the end of the trip, but no, that baby was gone. So I had to order a new rudder, and it was like $39. I think I got it from Mariner Sales. I didn't want to drop the close to 200 on the spring blade just yet, so what I did was I cut the head off a stainless steel bolt, made it into a little short threaded rod. I used, I think, a 4-inch, and I loctited it into the shaft here and used 2 jamb nuts to make sure it wouldn't come off. And then I drilled a hole as close to the top as I could for a cotter pin. And I put a Teflon spacer at the bottom. For some reason, the new rudder didn't come with a spacer, and I'm pretty sure there was one before because the old rudder didn't hit the hull. And without this spacer, this one kind of rubs on the hull right here. So, and it looks exactly the same, so it had to been because there was a spacer before. And for whatever reason, Native doesn't ship the white spacer with it, so I just used a Teflon washer that I trimmed to fit. And when we get up to the top, you'll see there's a Teflon washer up there also. So what you do, you just put this up through there, and you can see plenty of clearance with that Teflon washer, and the Teflon makes it much smoother. All right, so up at the top, it looks like this. And you just put your rudder disc on as normal, and you just use a nylon lock nut and a cotter pin for the same size hole that you drilled. I can't remember offhand what the size was, but I used a drill press to drill it, and this baby will not come off. That nut will never back off, and you'll never lose it. So I'm going to put the disc back on, and I'll show you what it looks like. Be right back. All right, so I got the disc back on, and now in addition to a screwdriver, a small screwdriver to adjust these if I need to, I just carry a small 7/16 wrench up in the front, so it's not really a big deal. And then you just tighten this up. Just enough till you can get the cotter pin in. So you can see right there, there should be enough there. Let's put the cotter pin in. A little bit more. All right, so the cotter pin goes in, and then what you do is you bend the little ears back right here. And I'll do that after. I'm not going to do it right now, but this gives you the idea. And then you can, because you put it near the top, you have still a little bit of adjustment left for, you know, when it expands and contracts with heat. So I keep it right about there, and that Teflon washer at the top makes this super smooth. And the other nice thing is the Teflon washer on the top also keeps the red guides off the kayak. So before, sand and whatnot would get in here, and it would just grind on these red guides. So with that little, it's a 3mm washer, one on the top, one on the bottom, and it's PTFE, aka Teflon. This thing is butter smooth. So I'm going to show you. I mean, it's super smooth, and the Teflon isn't affected as much by heat and cold. It doesn't contract, so you can keep this thing tighter, or, you know, when it gets tight because of expansion and contraction because of heat or cold, it still stays pretty smooth, and you'll never lose your rudder. So that's it. BassMan out.